All right, let's get right into it and break down this huge upcoming Bundesliga clash between the giants, Bayern Munich and Werder Bremen. Now, on the surface, this matchup looks like a total slam dunk, right? A foregone conclusion. But trust me, when you start to dig into the data, a much more interesting story begins to unfold.
So, let's set the scene. You've got Bayern, sitting comfortably at the top of the table in first place. And then, way down in 14th, you have Werder Bremen. I mean, it doesn't get much more Goliath versus David than this. And that classic underdog story is really the backdrop for our entire analysis today.
To really understand this fixture, you have to start with the history. And when we talk about Bayern and Bremen, that history, well, it carries some serious weight. It paints this picture of a dominance that for years now has just seemed totally and completely unbreakable.
So you want to see what that dominance looks like in cold, hard numbers? It looks like this. 32. That's how many times Bayern Munich has won in their last 42 games against Bremen. Just let that number sink in for a second. It's an absolutely staggering figure that tells you almost everything you need to know about how lopsided this has been.
But it's not even just about the wins. The goal difference is maybe even more revealing. 120 goals for Bayern compared to just 36 for Bremen. That's not just a pattern of winning. That is a pattern of complete and utter tactical and psychological control over another team for decades.
Now you're probably thinking, okay, that's history. What about right now? Well, the scary part is they might be even more formidable today. They are off to a record-breaking start this season. 4 wins from 4 matches with a plus 15 goal difference. They are operating like a well-oiled machine. But, and this is a big but, as we're about to see, even the most perfect machine can have a few glitches.
And this is where the whole narrative starts to flip on its head. Because despite all that power, all that history, we are starting to see some pretty significant cracks appear in Bayern's armor. A major complication is brewing for the league leaders, and it comes in the form of an injury crisis that just seems to be getting worse.
And it starts right in the engine room, their creative hub. Their star attacking midfielder Jamal Musiala is out long-term with a broken fibula. This is a massive blow to their ability to unlock those tight, compact defenses that they come up against week after week.
Next up, the loss of their world-class left back Alphonso Davies to a devastating cruciate ligament tear. His absence hurts them in 2 huge ways. You lose his defensive solidity, of course, but you also lose that blistering, game-breaking pace he brings to the attack that stretches opposition defenses wide open.
And the crisis at the back just gets deeper. Their key center back, Hiroki Ito, is also sidelined with a metatarsal fracture. At this point, you're looking at a defensive structure that is beginning to look seriously depleted.
And to top it all off, another defender, Josip Stanisic, is out with a ligament injury. The really crucial thing to understand here isn't just about 1 or 2 players missing. This has become a systemic problem for them, stretching their defensive resources to the absolute breaking point.
Okay, so you've got the injury crisis, but then there's a second, kind of weird factor at play here, something totally unique to Munich at this time of year. It's what people call the Oktoberfest hangover. Now, it might sound like a bit of a myth, but the statistics, they suggest this is a very real thing. Just look at the numbers. Normally, Bayern's home stadium is a fortress. They have a 76% win rate. But during the Oktoberfest period, that rate drops significantly, down to 64%. That 12-point dip isn't a coincidence. It is a tangible, statistical vulnerability.
And this isn't just some abstract statistic. This dip has led to real-world shocking results. We only have to go back to 2008 to find the most famous example in this fixture's history. During Oktoberfest, it was Werder Bremen who marched into Munich and delivered a stunning 5-2 thrashing. They know how to capitalize on this exact scenario.
So what we're left with are 2 completely conflicting narratives. On one side, you have Bayern's incredible power and form. On the other, a crippling injury list and this bizarre statistical curse. So the question is, how do we, as we're watching the game, figure out which narrative is actually winning? Well, first, you have to acknowledge the ultimate game changer, Bayern's trump card, Harry Kane. The man has 8 goals in 4 games. He is a clinical force of nature who could single-handedly make all these other factors completely irrelevant. His performance is going to be front and center. But beyond just watching Kane, here's your toolkit for the match. Keep an eye on the attack momentum metric. Is Bayern just pinning Bremen in their own half, or is it a real fight? Look at big chances created. Are those injuries hurting Bayern's creativity? Who's controlling possession? And this one's huge. Watch the duels won percentage. If you see Bremen winning those 50-50 battles, that's a massive sign they believe an upset is on the cards.
So this leaves us with the ultimate question. Is this just another predictable day at the office for the Bavarian Giants? Or are we looking at the perfect storm of injuries, historical curses, and a resilient underdog, all brewing for another historic upset? That's the question, and that's why we'll all be watching.